Good morning everyone. So today we are going to discuss about agriculture finance and cooperation. So in agriculture finance and cooperation we are dealing the first chapter, that is credit. So what do you mean by credit? Credit is nothing but incoming of money. In otherwise we will call credit as a loan. So from where this credit word has been derived? Credit is derived from a Latin word. So in Latin, there was a word called as credo. So let us know what do you mean by this credo. Credo is nothing but I believe. So in credit we have different classifications. So the first classification is based on time. So we are going to learn about the classification of credit. The first classification is based on time. So in based on time, we have different classifications. That is the short term loan, medium term loan and long term loan. So let us know what do you mean by this short term loan, medium term loan and long term loan. Short term loans are nothing but the loans which should be repaid from 6 to 18 months itself. So what are the types of products what are the types of agriculture commodities you can grow within 6 to 18 months? Example, paddy, wheat, millets or any other short duration crops which can be grown from 6 to 18 months. Short term loans is nothing but those loans which should be repaid from 6 to 18 months. So what are the types of agriculture commodities can be grown while using the short term loans? That is short duration crops like paddy, wheat, millets, oilseeds or vegetables, etc. Short term loans are nothing but those loans should be repaid from 6 to 18 months itself. Next comes the medium term loans. So what do you mean by this medium term loans? Medium term loans are nothing but those loans that should be repaid from 18 months to 5 years. So medium term loans examples are like for what purpose we will use the medium term loans means for purchasing the implements, farm machineries like either tractors or tillers or harvesters or rotavators. For purchasing that implements, farm implements, we will use the medium term loans. So the time duration for medium term loans is nothing but it is 18 months to 5 years. So for what purpose we are using the medium term loans? In order to purchase the farm machineries. In order to purchase the farm machineries, we will use the medium term loans. Next comes the third one, long term loans. So for what purpose we are using the long term loans? Long term loans are nothing but those loans that should be repaid from 5 to 20 years. Within a span of 5 to 20 years itself, we need to repay that loan. So for what purpose you are using the long term loans? For what purpose means you are using the long term loans for growing the plantation crops or orchard crops. Suppose if you are maintaining the orchard, you cannot reap the benefits within 1 or 2 years itself. It takes minimum 5 years to reap the benefits by growing the plantation crops and orchard crops. Not only orchard crops and plantation crops. So suppose if you are maintaining the soil conservation practices, if you are doing the soil conservation practices also, suppose if you want to take a loan for doing the soil conservation practices, you need to take a loan that is long term loan. So these are the three types of loans which are based on time. That is short term loans, medium term loans and long term loans. Short-term loans are nothing but those loans that should be repaid from 6 to 18 months. Medium-term loans are nothing but those loans that should be repaid from 18 months to 5 years. And long-term loans are nothing but those loans that should be repaid from 5 to 20 years. Short-term loans example is like for growing the paddy, wheat, millets or any other short duration crops, we use the short-term loan. Medium-term loans examples for purchasing the farm machineries like tractor, tiller, rotavator or harvester anything. Next is long-term loans. So for what purpose we are using the long-term loan means for growing the plantation crops, for maintaining the orchard and for soil conservation practices we are using the long-term loans. So this is based on time, that is the first classification of credit. The second classification of credit is based on purpose. So the second classification of credit is based on purpose. So in based on purpose, we have four classifications, that is production loan, investment loan, marketing loan and consumption loan. So let us know the first classification of based on purpose, that is production loan. So based on purpose, we have four classifications. In that four classifications, first one is production loan. So by the name itself you can understand what do you mean by this production loan. The name itself it will tell production. So what do you mean by this production loan? Production loans are nothing but those loans which are taken for growing the crops, for production of agricultural commodities. If you are taking the loan, that is called as production loan. So this production loan is also called as seasonal agricultural operations loan. Normally it will be SAO loans, like that it will be there. So what do you mean by this production loan? Production loans are nothing but those loans which are taken for growing the crops. So after production loan, the next one is investment loan. So what do you mean by this investment loan? Investment loan is nothing but those loans which are taken for purchasing the machineries. Suppose the farmer wants to purchase some machineries like tractors, tillers, rotavators or harvesters. In order to purchase that implements, he needs certain loan. That loan is called as investment loan. Investment loan is nothing but those loans which are used to purchase the farm machineries. For purchasing the farm machineries, we will use certain type of loan. That is called as investment loan. So after investment loan, we have another type of loan, that is called as marketing loans. So what do you mean by this marketing loans? By the name itself you will come to know for what purpose this marketing loans will be given. Suppose the farmer wants to get a better price. In order to get the better price for their product, the marketing loans will be used. So how the farmers will get a better price for their product or for their agricultural commodity by using marketing loans. How they will get it? Marketing loans is nothing but those loans which will overcome the distress sales. How the marketing loans will be overcoming distress sales? Will overcome the distress sales. So what do you mean by this distress sales? When there is high supply of agricultural commodities in the same market, obviously the brokers or the traders or middlemen, those who are purchasing that particular commodity, if that particular commodity will be having more supply by different farmers in that market, obviously they will charge very less price for that particular product for the farmers. So when the farmers are selling the particular product at a very less price to the traders or brokers or middlemen, that is called as distress sales. So this won't be a fine for the farmer or for the government. So what the government will do is, the government will provide a certain type of loan. That loan is called as marketing loan. Marketing loans are nothing but those loans which will help the farmer or producer to supply the product at a very good price. That is called as marketing loans. The next one is the last one, consumption loan. So what do you mean by this consumption loans? Consumption loans are nothing but those loans which are used for unproductive purposes. So like those loans which are used for like celebration of festivals, for celebrating festivals or fairs or like marriage celebrations. For that purpose, the consumption loans will be used. Since it is not a productive in nature, that's why it is called as unproductive loans. Consumption loans are also called as unproductive loans. So based on purpose, we have four classifications: production loan, investment loan, marketing loan and consumption loan. Production loans are nothing but those loans which are used for production of agricultural commodities, hence it is called as production loan. The next one is investment loan. Investment loans are nothing but those loans which are used for purchasing the farm implements or farm machineries. Next one is marketing loans. Marketing loans are nothing but those loans which are used to overcome the distress sales. That means in order to get the better price for the farmers' commodities, the market loans will be provided. And next one is consumption loan, the last one based on purpose. So what do you mean by this consumption loans? Consumption loans are nothing but those loans which are used for celebrating festivals, fairs, marriages or any other practices, customs or habits. Hence, it is not productive in nature, it is called as unproductive loans. These consumption loans are also called as unproductive loans. So after based on purpose, we have another classification, that is the third classification is based on security. So based on security, we have two classifications. First one is secured loans and the second one is unsecured loans. So let us know what do you mean by this secured loans and unsecured loans. Secured loans will be nothing but it is like secured in nature. There will be some sort of surety for secured loans. So what do you mean by this unsecured loans? Unsecured loans, by the name itself it will tell that there is no security for this unsecured loans. So in secured loans itself we have different classifications. In secured loans we have the first classification is personal secured loan, the second one is collateral loan and the third one is chattel loan, fourth one is mortgage and the fifth one, the last one is hypothecated loan. So what do you mean by this personal secured loan? Personal secured loan is nothing but the borrower himself stands as a security for that particular loan. That is called as personal secured loan. So let me explain what do you mean by this personal secured loan. I will erase this one. So based on security, we have two classifications, that is secured loan and unsecured loan. In secured loans, we have different classifications. That one we are going to learn right now. The first classification is personal secured loans. So what do you mean by this personal secured loans? Personal secured loans is nothing but the borrower himself will stand as a security. In a white A4 size sheet of paper, that is like a bond paper. In that bond paper, he himself stands as a security. He will write that within a span of certain time, I will repay this loan amount. Suppose the farmer or borrower wants to take 10,000 rupees. What he will do means, in that bond paper, he will write, I have taken 10,000 rupees from this particular bank, and within 6 to 18 months itself I will repay this loan amount, or within 10 months itself I will repay this loan amount with interest. Like that he will write and he will sign in that document. That's why the borrower will himself stands as a security for this particular loan. Hence the name personal secured loan. So after personal secured loan, we have another classification, that is collateral loans. So what do you mean by this collateral loans? Collateral loans are nothing but the borrower or the farmer will pledge the movable properties in order to take a loan. So what are the types of movable properties will be there? Let's take examples like certificates. The borrower will pledge these certificates. Example for certificates we can take as like degree certificate, or else we can take NSC bonds or LIC bonds or shares, like that. These certificates are nothing but a movable properties. If the borrower or the farmer pledges this movable property and take a loan, that is called as collateral loans. If the movable properties has been pledged by the borrower or the farmer to take a loan, that is called as collateral. What do you mean by this movable properties? Movable properties examples are nothing but certificates, shares, bonds, or LIC bonds or NSC certificates, NSC National Savings Certificate bonds. That is called as movable properties. Next, after collateral loan, we will come for the next type of loan, that is chattel loans. So, what do you mean by this chattel loans? In the first, that is personal secured loan, the borrower himself stands as security for taking the loan. The next one, collateral loan. In collateral loan, the borrower will pledge the movable properties. The movable properties will be pledged in order to take a loan. That is called as collateral loan. Examples for movable properties are nothing but the certificates, or else NSC bonds, or else LIC bonds. That is called as movable properties. And next one is chattel loans. So chattel loans is nothing but the borrower will pledge his jewelries in order to take a loan. Just imagine the borrower or the farmer, when he is pledging his own jewelry like gold or any other silver or any other jewelries, by pledging this jewelries, and if he is taking a loan, that is called as chattel loan. The borrower will pledge the jewelries to take a loan. When the borrower is pledging the jewelries in order to take a loan, that is called as chattel loans. So after next one, the next one is mortgage loans. So what do you mean by this mortgage loans? You have seen in collateral loans, the borrower or the farmer will pledge the movable properties. But in mortgage loan, the borrower or the farmer will pledge the immovable properties. It is just opposite of collateral loans. In collateral loans, the farmer or borrower will pledge the movable properties, but in mortgage loan, the farmer or borrower will pledge the immovable properties. So what do you mean by this immovable properties? Immovable properties are nothing but examples like land or farm buildings or any other buildings which is the property of the borrower or the farmer. If these immovable properties are pledged and take a loan, that is called as mortgage loans. These immovable properties will be pledged to take a loan. That is called as mortgage loans. In mortgage loans itself, we have two classifications or two types. That is simple mortgage loans and equitable mortgage loans. So you have seen like in immovable properties itself, Suppose that immovable properties comes from the ancestors, and if he pledges that immovable properties which will come from the ancestors, that is called as simple mortgage loans. In opposite of this one, that is equitable mortgage loan. If this immovable properties is self-acquired property, that is called as equitable mortgage loan. Let me explain you this immovable property. If this immovable property comes from the ancestors, that is the borrower will have that immovable property. That immovable property comes from his ancestor. If that immovable property had came from his father or came from its grandfather, and if he is pledging that immovable property to take a loan, that is called as simple mortgage loans. Understood? The next one is equitable mortgage loans. Suppose this immovable property is self-acquired by the farmer itself or the borrower itself, and he has taken the loan by pledging this immovable property which is self-acquired by the farmer or borrower. That is called as equitable mortgage. Just imagine the farmer or borrower by his hard-earned money itself, he had purchased the land or purchased the building or constructed the building, but he is pledging that particular land or building in order to take a loan. That type of loan is called as equitable mortgage loans. Understood? We have certain classifications based on security, that is secured loans and unsecured loans. In secured loans, we have certain classifications like personal secured loan, collateral loan, chattel loan, mortgage loans, hypothecated loans, etc. In personal secured loan, what do you mean by this personal secured loan? Personal secured loan is nothing but the borrower himself stands as a security. That is called as personal secured loan. Collateral loan is nothing but the borrower will pledges the movable properties in order to take a loan. That is called as collateral loan. And third one is chattel loan. Chattel loan is nothing but the borrower will pledge the jewelries in order to take a loan. That is called as chattel loans. And the mortgage loan is nothing but the borrower will pledges immovable properties in order to take a loan. That is called as mortgage loan. The last one is hypothecated loan. So what do you mean by this hypothecated loan? Hypothecated loan is nothing but here also the borrower will pledge the movable properties itself. The borrower will pledge the movable properties, but these movable properties can be converted into money. So here you have seen in collateral loans, that is certificates which are movable properties. These movable properties are pledged in order to take a loan. That is called as collateral loans. But can we convert these certificates into money? Can we convert these movable properties into money? It's not possible that much easily. But in hypothecated loans, the same movable properties are pledged, but these movable properties can be converted into money. So what are the examples for these movable properties which can be converted into money? Let's take an example, that is agriculture products. Agriculture products or any vehicles. Can we convert these agriculture products into cash, or can we convert these vehicles into cash? It is easy. By selling these agriculture products, we can convert into cash. By selling these vehicles, we can convert into cash. That's why the examples for movable properties in case of hypothecated loans is agriculture products and vehicles. So because these movable properties can be converted into cash. This is based on security. The next classification is unsecured loan. Unsecured loan, already I told, by the name itself it will tell there is no security for this particular loans. So if the transactions of loan is done between the relatives, or if the transaction of loans is done between the friends, we can't tell them to pledge any property, or we can't tell them to pledge any jewelries or anything. That's why this particular loans, that is there is transaction between relatives or friends, that particular loans are called as unsecured loans. So understood? So after this, based on security, we are going to learn based on liquidity. So let me erase this one. This classification is based on liquidity. So based on liquidity, we have two classification, that is self-liquidating loans second one is partial liquidating loans. So let us know what do you mean by this self-liquidating loans and partial liquidating loans. Self-liquidating loans is nothing but if the borrower or if the farmer has taken a loan and that loan can be repaid within the same year. Within same year itself, the borrower or the farmer will repay the loan amount. That a particular loan is called as self-liquidating loans. Next one is partial liquidating loans. Partial liquidating loans is nothing but if the farmer or borrower has taken a loan, but it takes lot of time to repay that loan amount and he cannot repay within the same year itself, like self-liquidating loans itself. It takes lot of time. So that particular loans which takes lot of time to repay the loan, repay to the bank, that is called as partial liquidating loan. So the next one is based on contract. Based on contract, we have two classifications, that is direct loans and indirect loans. So by the name itself, you will come to know what do you mean by this direct loans and indirect loans. So direct loans are nothing but those loans which will be given directly into the hands of the borrower. So let me explain clearly about direct loans. Let's imagine the farmer or borrower wants to take 10,000 rupees loan in order to grow particular vegetable or any crop. So when the farmer goes to the particular bank, he will ask, I need this much amount, and within a span of this many months, I will repay this loan amount for growing this particular product, and all he will explain. So after this, the bank will give directly the loans into the hands of the borrower. The borrower will take the loans directly from the bank. Sometimes what will happen means, if the borrower wants 1 lakh rupee or 50,000 rupees in order to grow particular crop, all that 50,000 rupees cannot be used all at once. Like from the sowing season, he will invest maybe in the first month he may invest 10,000 rupees. In the second month he may invest some 10,000 rupees. Until harvesting, from sowing till harvesting, he will be using that money like whenever required. All at once, this 50,000 rupees or that like 1 lakh rupees is not required in the first day itself. So what the bank will do is, bank will distribute in the phases. But sometimes what will happen is the borrower or the farmer may utilize that particular loan for an unproductive purpose. Because of that reason, the bank will distribute the loan to the fertilizer shop or fertilizer industry. Loans will be given to the fertilizer manufacturers or pesticide manufacturers. Like that, it will be given. So whenever the farmer or borrower tries to purchase the fertilizer or pesticide, then the pesticide or fertilizers will be distributed in a subsidy. That subsidy is nothing but indirect loans. Okay. Okay.